Shalom, all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom Rachak. My name is Jacobo from Plaintables Camp. It's the apostles video, met or not with them that are given a change. He's reviewing a video from 8 years ago. So let's hear what he has to say.
He says, in this video that was put up 8 years ago, he says Revelation 13 and verse 11 is talking about America.
And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb. So yeah, this is and he spake like a dragon. Yeah, so this is America. This is a two-party system here, mainly that we have here in America. All right, so yeah, he was right. The Bishop Nathaniel. So he originally taught that. So I guess that's what this video is going to display.
So now, if Revelation 13 and 11 is talking about America and the modern world, the world that we live in, what does the 12th verse, 13 verse, 14 verse, 15 verse, 16 verse, 17 verse, and 18 verse, when does that take place? From the Revelation chapter 13 verse 11 on down, does it have anything to do with ancient pagan Rome? And your answer might be, if you know the scriptures, you know history, and you know the prophecies of the scriptures, particularly Revelation 13, you would know Revelation 13 verse 11 on down has nothing to do with the Roman Empire 2,000 years ago.
Except here, and he exerciseth all the power of the first beast. That's a 2,000 years ago right there. All right. And he calls it the earth and everything else. This is all future. This is telling you that the second beast, well, the other beast, it came up out of the earth, was America, or is America. And he has the power of the 2,000 years ago, meaning the laws, the so-called democracy, voting. Well, it's a republic. It was a republic, but a two-party system. That's the exercises the power of the first beast, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven. 2,000 years ago, he wasn't making fire come down from heaven. All right, so these verses are referring to the power that the Edomites have here in the present, and the power that he exercises from the original beast is the government system, and they are the gods they worship.
So he had recently said, which I did 2 videos on, the last 2 videos I did, he changed it up again, as he always does. It says Revelation 13 and 16, he goes into this, he has this article, document, and then he has the brother, I believe that's Yuri, read it, and he comes across the 16th verse, the Revelation 13:16, and it says Mark, and in that document it says the word is charagma, which charagma is a physical thing, as we've been saying for years. Then he says, oh, that's talking about during the time of Nero, you couldn't buy or sell unless you use his coin and you was, in good standing with the Roman Empire. And the charagma part is when they, engraved his image and his signature in the back, just like you have coins today. So he went off again, but here's the proof. I went back 8 years. This has to be what, 16, right? 2016. And I don't know what he's gonna say. I may, you know what I'm gonna do? Let me do this. Cause this is when we're going back and forth. As a matter of fact, okay, I'm at 36 minutes and 30 seconds in. I'm gonna go to 1 hour and 24 minutes and 13 seconds in. Let me do this. I'm sorry. Okay, right here. So in one hour, 22 minute and 34 second in, we left the about 36:30. I think I said 36:30, right? So here we go. Let me do this. At 36:30. Because we don't come to that, come back to that. So as you can see, we're at 122.34.
Only on an item. Like with a country, let's say I make this and you're mad at me about something. Let's say I'll put a sanction on your orange Sharpies. But an embargo is on the whole country. Nobody can't do business with you, can't buy from you, can't trade with you. Read it again.
Let me come back over here.
The right hand, you support it. You pledge allegiance to
we're
it.
at 120. Let me come back a little bit more. Right here. So we're at 117.22.
Those are the words you hear in the news, right?
And that no man might buy or sell.
Give me another word for buy or sell. I want one word that discusses, that uses, that expresses buy or sell. Steve.
Trade.
Trade. That no man can trade except what?
And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark.
So now stop. You might say, wait a minute. Is that really what this is talking about? Trade. Buying and selling, trade. Yes. Give me a precept, Ezekiel.
So what's the mark? He might not go about to go to Ezekiel 9. Let me see. So what's the mark? So we established that you can't buy and sell, or you can't trade. There was no need to do that, but the transfer a word. But the mark. What's the mark?
Ezekiel 28. Verse 4 and 5. You need some words. These words are going to help you. You don't got to go to the Greek or the Latin to come up with a computer chip. You crazy.
So he's talking about us. I didn't know he's going to say that, computer chip, with Greek and the Latin. But yeah, see, this is foolish behavior. Like, you go to the original language, you get the proper understanding. It's as simple as that. It's not complex. All right.
Crazy. Ezekiel 28. Come on, I'll help you. You don't got to go to the Greek or the Latin to come up with a computer chip. You crazy?
Now, now if you watch my last video I did, he actually, the reader, comes across the word mark in Revelation 13 and 16. And then he said charagma, and then Bishop Nate corrects him and says, no, it's charagma. Then he reads on and explains that it's something that's engraved in something. Then he says it's engraved in the coins when the coins were minted during the time of Nero. And if you wasn't in good standing with the Roman Empire, you couldn't buy and sell. You see? It's meddle not with them that are given the change.
Well, I mean, that's with any emperor. Why do you point out Nero? See, that's odd, because if you weren't in good standing with any emperor, you couldn't buy and sell. I mean, that's a universal thing. Now, we're not in good standing, but you can still buy and sell? Or that was the only, he's saying that's the only emperor that, like, if you wasn't in good standing, you couldn't buy and sell, but all the other emperors, if you weren't in good standing, you were not in good standing, you could still buy and sell? I mean, why is he pointing out Nero? So, yeah, maybe explain that. But that's not unique to Nero, or unless he's saying that's only unique to Nero.
Get him.
Ezekiel 28, verse 4 and 5. Come on.
Ezekiel 28, verse 4. With thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches.
See that? Thou hast gotten thee riches. Read.
Thou hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures.
Go ahead.
By thy great wisdom.
By thy great wisdom.
And by thy traffic.
And by thy traffic. Can we look up that word traffic?
I think this is what you want. The transportation of goods for the purpose of trade by sea, land, or air.
Y'all see that? Read that bottom, that one again, Joshua, again.
The transportation of goods for the purpose of trade by sea, land, or air.
Now the term the Bible uses for trade is what? Traffic. Traffic. What else in Revelation?
Buy and sell.
Buy and sell. Buy and sell. That's
What did this have to do with the prophecy of the mark of the MOTB? All right. What it's simply saying here is that the Edomites, all right, have gotten rich because of trade. This is not news. This has nothing to do with the prophecy of the mark. We got Rakala, merchandise traffic trade. All right. Merchandise traffic trade. So what does that have to do with you? If you're not of the Lord's elect, you're going to receive a mark in your right hand. And if you don't have that mark, you won't be able to trade. But if you have that mark, you will be able to buy and sell and trade. All right. And it tells you his number is 666. 666. What does the prophecy of the Edomites being rich through trade and stealing had to do with, if you're not of the elect, you're going to receive a scratch or etching, a device in your hand that will allow you to buy and sell? It had nothing to do with each other.
what traffic is making reference to in Ezekiel 28. Yes.
In the documentary we referenced before, in the movie Even the Rain.
Yeah.
And the other one with the that Esau said he was the devil.
When you get your thought, come back.
No, even the rain, they force, their American companies control foreign interests.
Right.
So the food that people eat, their sanitation, everything that they need is dependent on American companies.
Exactly. Exactly.
But what's the mark?
End of poverty. Yes, that's the name of it.
Yeah, also, if any of these nations try to go outside of what's put down, they put an embargo on them.
We get into that. Let's go right back to Revelation 13 and 16 again. We getting there.
Revelation 13, verse 17 or 16?
16 and
16 again. And he causeth all.
He causeth all nations. The all is making reference to nations, right?
Both small.
Small nations.
And great.
Great nations.
Rich.
Rich nations.
And poor.
Poor nations.
Free.
Free nations.
And bond.
Bond nations.
To receive a mark.
That mark is their philosophy, their policies, their doctrines, right?
Okay, so that's what he's saying it is. Their policies, their philosophies, their doctrines. So I guess he's going to say, so as long as you believe in them, you'll be able to trade. That's what he's going to say, probably.
In their right hand.
Wait a minute. Let's hear that again.
Small.
Small nations.
And great.
Great nations.
Rich.
Rich nations.
And poor.
Poor nations.
Free.
Free nations.
And bond.
Bond nations.
To receive a mark.
That mark is their philosophy, their policies, their doctrines. Go ahead.
In their.
He said their philosophies, their policies, their doctrines. If you check out Saturday, you check out the video I did, the last video I did, I showed the video that he did Saturday night where he said that the word mark goes to the word charagma, and he says that means during the time of Nero, if you weren't in good standing with Nero and the Roman Empire, you couldn't buy or sell. You couldn't use Nero's coin, which was engraved with maybe a picture of his face and his signature or whatever. Remember what the Lord said, who's on this coin? He said Caesar, and whose signature is the Caesar's signature? Run unto Caesar what is Caesar, and to the Most High what is the Most High. So now he completely flipped. He flip-flopped. Let's listen to it again.
Poor nations, small nations,
and
great nations, rich nations,
and
poor nations,
free
nations,
and bond
nations,
to receive a mark.
That mark is their philosophy, their policies, their doctrines. Go ahead.
Read a couple of weeks ago, it was sin in all of its forms, whether it be religious or political. Now,
Oh, yeah. He did say it. Yeah, sin in all of its forms, whether religious or political. So the mark is sin. The mark is Nero's money. The mark is to philosophies and doctrines. So how would you? So you got to be tested. Like you want to like walk up to like a podium or be examined, like interrogated. Like what do you believe in? You believe? Okay, so all right. So you have the mark now. Great. So you can go purchase your food. That just sounds crazy. All right. The mark is the implantable microchip. That's what the mark is in the Book of Revelation.
the mark is Nero's coin with the engraving on it. Let's listen to some more.
Right hand?
In their right hand, because in your right hand, you support it. You pledge allegiance to it. Go ahead.
It's talking about it being inscribed in your hand, your left or your right. But most people know right-handed. That's more dexterity there. I'm left-handed, so any hand or arm, and then you also have the brain chip.
On their forehead.
In your forehead, you believe it. Go ahead.
And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark.
And that no man might buy or sell, meaning, and that no man might, give me another word? Trade or traffic. Save
if you believe in their doctrine. So you got to believe in their doctrine. This is 8 years ago, though. So he updated his doctrine. So you got to believe in their philosophy, their doctrine, the way they did laws in order to trade. So how do you show it, though? Well, I can just lie. So nations, small nations and big nations can just lie. Say, yeah, we believe in your doctrine. Okay, when should we expect the shipment? Like India, Pakistan, like, yeah, we believe. Yeah, just when you gonna ship the goods? So you have to show that you pledge allegiance. You actually have to show it. All right. And how do you show it? You show it with the physical mark inscribed into your right hand or your forehead. All right. Etching, a scratch, servitude, etching. All right. A badge, distinctive emblem. Now this is going to be inside your flesh. Let's finish this off.
He that had the mark, we just read that. Go back to Maccabees. Go right back to Maccabees. First Maccabees chapter 8. What we read what Rome would do.
Verse 1?
No, not verse 1.
These 8 in their foreheads. And that no man might buy or sell.
And that no man might trade. No man can trade. Go ahead.
Save he that had the mark. Well,
That's the same thing that IUIC said about the embargo. So they might have got it from them, from IUI, well, they might be reading the same document, IUIC and IUIC, but they both say it's an embargo.
Babylon the Great, America today.
Well, the number of his name.
And as we read down, it's 666. That's the number that represents them. So,
well, wait a minute. Now you're saying that it's talking from the 11th verse on down. It's talking about Nero. So the mark of the beast came and went. Y'all see that, right? This is what he said 8 years ago. 8 years ago. And he wasn't too popular back there. He only got 1,000 views. Well, this is Joel Israel, so.
This is talking about embargoes. This is not talking about, brother, I want to buy a Snickers bar and I don't have a chip in my hand. Can you go to the store and buy me a?
It's referring to anything. You can't buy or sell anything, not just a Snickers bar. All right. So his intelligence level wasn't that great back then either.
Because I ain't talking about that.
Well, now he's saying it's now he's saying it's an actual coinage during the time of Nero. I got to say this again because people are slow. That the charagma is the engraving on the coin. Now he's saying it's Nero. So now he's saying it's back then. He was saying it was now, but ain't no goddamn chip.
That's just Negro jailhouse foolishness.
So if it represented Nero's money, then what's the updated version of Nero's money? It would be America's money, right? So America's money was going to turn into the implantable device. You know, like he's like trapping himself up with his words. If it's Nero's money, okay, are we living 2,000 years ago? No, we're in 2024 now, 2025, 26. So if you're bringing out Nero's money, that's irrelevant today. So you must be talking about today. So whose money today? So-called American money, all right, or Babylonian money, because America is spiritually Babylon. All right, so it's talking about money, America's money. So America's money is the dollar now, but it's going to be turned into the chip.
That's he's gonna have to eat his words.
A jailhouse, like how many of us been to jail? I mean, that did prison time. Like seriously. He's an ad hominem attacks, jailhouse. Like, so all our elders went to prison, and then they came out with the microchip. They did 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and they came out of prison talking about the microchip. This is foolishness.
He's talking about us. He sneaked this in us. He said that's just us teaching that the MOTB is a Michael C. hit as Negro jailhouse. Foolishness. Negro jailhouse. What is that? Negro N jailhouse JF. So we should change our name to NJF. Negro jailhouse foolishness. So we're gonna change our name to NJF instead of GMS.
All right, I'll leave it there. We made it to the 13-minute mark, 13 minutes, 51 seconds. I'll leave the Apostles video in the description box. All right. Clearly, the dude, he doesn't know what it is because it keeps changing. I see it changing one time, but it changed so many times that the dude, they just don't know what he's talking about. All right. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's reading different documents and they say Nero. I think I've heard that theory before. And with that theory, you have to update it to today because we're not living 2,000 years ago. If he's talking about Nero's money, then you're saying the prophecy already passed. Then this is the revelation of Yahushua. All right, this is the end. And tells you in the 14th chapter. It says, where are we at? Doom for worshipers of the beast. They're going to be worshiping the beast in Babylon. I guess he don't believe Babylon's America then. See, he keeps sticking his foot in his mouth. All right. The books of 13, 14 is referring to America being Babylon. And these are the things that are going to be happening in Babylon and what Babylon Babylon, America, which is going to be causing other countries to do. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead in his right hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the power, which shall be poured out without mixture into a cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Man, you're going to die in hellfire. Those nuclear missiles are going to come from Russia and other countries. They're going to totally burn Babylon, America up if you take that mark. So you can buy and sell, because they're going to take the mark out of fear, because they're not going to be able to eat and pay their bills. So they're going to take the mark of the beast. All right. So this prophecy didn't happen yet. All right. Nobody died in hellfire during Nero's time. He just doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just in opposition to us because his congregation asking questions, and it's a big prophecy that he got to come up against us with. No, 2,000 years ago, people didn't die in fire and brimstone that came from the sky. All right, this didn't happen yet. And nor was the mark issued. His Nero's coin issued, and the result of taking Nero's coin, they died in hellfire. So I guess are they still alive, waiting to die? His doctrine don't make sense. All right, so I'll leave that there. Hope you edified. Shalom.